us here in the studio. Great to see you as always. Donald Trump yesterday announced he'd reached a trade deal with India. We're waiting for details of that agreement. What can you tell us?
Well, Mark, the United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer has confirmed that the US tariffs on most Indian goods will go down to 18%, while duties on a variety of American exports will go down to 0, including on some agricultural products. This while India's Commerce Minister hailed it as the best deal in the region. Indian stocks had a good day on the stock market, with benchmark indexes Sensex and Nifty 50 both rising by about 2.5%. But details of the deal are still scant, and some are already questioning the feasibility of the agreement. Simon Moritz has the latest.
Indian goods exporters hailed the USA-India trade deal announced on Monday that would cut U.S. tariffs on their products to 18%, down from 50%, in exchange for New Delhi ceasing to buy Russian oil. One industry that stands to benefit greatly is jewelry.
Our export share with America used to be 35% out of the total exports. So with the reduction in tariffs to 18%, our exports that were stalled will resume again.
Details are scant on the deal that Trump said on Truth Social would include India buying over $500 billion of energy, technology, agriculture, and coal from the U.S. For his part, Indian PM Narendra Modi simply acknowledged the accord with delight on X. On Tuesday, the country's trade minister said that more would be revealed soon.
We will be shortly issuing a joint statement by both countries, along with the details which we will be shortly inking between the United States of America and India.
Staging a demonstration, the opposition party in parliament expressed concern that the deal seems unrealistic.
Opposition is only asking for clarity. Mr. Trump says 500 billion. Our entire import bill is 700 billion. So are we going to stop buying from every other country and only buy from America?
Officials on both sides have said that India's sensitive sectors such as agriculture and dairy would be protected under the deal.
So Mr. Trump claiming that the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also pledged to stop buying Russian oil. Now, this is important.
Well, Mark, that's the reason why the US has decided not just to reduce its so-called reciprocal tariffs from 25% to 18%, but also remove an additional 25% duty imposed as punishment for India's continuing purchases of Russian oil. Indian officials, though, have made no explicit comments on Mr. Trump's comment that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had agreed to stop buying Russian crude. And Moscow says it has not heard from India about its plan to do so. Here's what the Kremlin spokesperson has to say.
We give no less importance to the development of our advanced strategic partnership with India, between Russia and India. This is the most important thing for us. And we intend to further develop our bilateral relations in every possible way with a view to that, which we are doing.
See Dmitry Peskov in moving images anymore, do you? It's always a still photo. So there we go. I don't know what we read into that. Question is, though, just how much oil does India buy from Russia?
Well, India has emerged as a major buyer of Russian oil since the start of Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. According to the European think tank Centre for Research on Energy and Clean Air, New Delhi's imports of Russian fossil fuels have totaled 162 billion euros since February 2022, a vast majority of which is seaborne crude oil. Since the G7-led price cap on Russian oil kicked in December 2022, China and India have dominated the market for the commodity, with New Delhi accounting for 38% of Russian crude exports. However, as Mr. Greer, the US trade representative, asserted, it has started buying less. In the first half of 2025, it imported between 3 and 3.6 billion euros worth of Russian crude oil per month, but the value gradually went down to about 2.5 billion euros. And in December last year, its purchase dropped sharply by 29% from the previous month to the lowest volume since the price cap took effect. So it may well be trying to move away from Russian oil, but one expert says suddenly switching to US or possibly Venezuelan oil will not be easy. Let's take a listen.
The United States exports ultralight, low-sulfur crude oil, shale oil, that is essentially a gas condensate. Its characteristics make it unsuitable as a replacement for Russian supplies because Russia exports the Urals grade to India, which is a medium sour oil, relatively heavy, that Indian refineries are configured to process.
Moving on, here in France, the winter sales season has just wrapped up and the results are mixed.
Yeah, just a reminder to our viewers outside France that twice annual sales, or les soldes, are government-regulated shopping periods, each running for 4 weeks. They traditionally offered a bargain-hunting paradise for consumers, but lately they've lost some of their appeal as smaller promotional periods, such as Black Friday, made their way into the French shopping experience. This year, a recent cold snap and lingering effects of inflation also seem to have impacted sales. Natasha Lee and our colleagues at France Télévisions tell us more.
Shoppers may still be excited for the discounts, but in the city of Nancy, sales are down 5 to 10% compared to last year, with retailers blaming harsh weather for slowing foot traffic.
We had snow and icy conditions that stopped business for almost a week.
Despite the challenges, some shoppers are still making the most of the sales.
I'm a huge fan of sales. I always scout out items early and then come back when they're discounted.
As a student, it's a great time for me, without over-consuming, of course. But I have to say, it's a good period for us.
However, experts say it's not just the weather that's affecting sales.
We've just come out of Black Friday, and that was followed by pre-Christmas promotions. So it's easy to see why French consumers might already have spent their budgets and are starting to feel some fatigue from the constant sales.
In Paris, 54% of retailers report being satisfied with their winter sales, though that's a drop from 68% during Black Friday last fall.